10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is going on, Blurverse, and welcome back to another episode of For the Blurcher. My name is RJ, and as always, I'm joined by my boys Dre and Trey. What's good, fellas?
Hey, what's happening, y'all? What is happening? I'm here, excited to be here today.
Hey, same man. Talk about another episode of Loki. Lots of things to talk about.
Yeah, we got a little bit more to talk about than we had to talk about last week. And joining us today, we have a very special guest, AJ from AJReacts2. What's going on, man?
What's up? What's up? I'm excited. Thank you for having me on. And yeah, let's get to it, man.
Hey,
I'm excited. I'm excited. Yeah,
definitely. We've been meaning to have you on for a while, so thank you for stopping by and helping us break down episode 3.
Lamentis. That word.
I told y'all. I told y'all I was gonna mess that one all the way up. So Lamentis.
We'll go with the.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah,
we'll go with that. We'll go L1. You can call it L1.
L1.
Yep.
Yeah, because I ain't working out. All right, it's not working out. All right, bet. So let's just get into it. So it opens up with the female Loki. We don't know her name at this time. She's eating dinner with I think her name is C20. I keep calling her Jessica because I know from another character, but C20, I think her name is.
That is her name.
That's her name. Okay, and she's trying to get information about the timekeepers from C20. And, we kind of see her in a restaurant and she's kind of playing mind games and, she's creating this illusion all the while she's still in, I think, Alabama, wherever they were in that security room. And she's, still trying to pull things out of her. So my question is, do you think her plan is the same as Loki's as far as like overthrowing the timekeepers? Does she want to put an end to that? What do you think her master plan is? But before we get into that, I want to ask you, what are your overall thoughts on this week's episode? We'll start with our guest.
Overall thoughts. I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed the episode. I talked to a lot of people that didn't quite enjoy it. They said it was really slow paced. They said, hopefully it gets better. But this one was actually the best one in my eyes, as far as the first 3 episodes are concerned. The first 2 episodes, they were just a little kind of slow paced. We didn't really get as much action. We didn't get really a full vision of what the series is, and I think in this 3rd episode we get a clearer view of what the vision is for this series. Yes,
definitely, I agree with that wholeheartedly. What about you, Dre?
Yeah, I thought that this episode was decent. Like I did not like it, but I didn't think it was like the best. But I do think it was the best one that we've gotten so far. It's kind of further the plot. I'm gonna say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
For
sure.
There are some things that I didn't like about it. Specifically, one thing, we'll get into that when we get to that part. But I thought it was decent. It was a decent episode.
Okay. All right. What about you, Jay? What'd you think?
Well, y'all know me, man. I'm the biggest Marvel fan y'all ever meet. So I mean, it's Marvel. So if you give it to me, I'm gonna like every episode no matter what, because I just, love all the information that's being soaked in, because I just know that this show is just so unique. And this episode specifically, I enjoy it. I thought there was still a lot to talk about with these characters in the story moving forward. So a lot of people may have not seen that the same way. I think people are just a little impatient. I was talking to you guys about, and just not being patient enough to wait for the excitement that will happen in the next 2 episodes.
Okay. I agree with you too. I like this episode. I definitely think it was the better of the 3 that we've seen, or the 2 that we've seen so far. I think that we definitely, towards the end, and I hate when they do this, and when WandaVision did this to us a lot, they would give us a little piece of information or something big would happen, and then they would just like cut us off. And I appreciate that because it's going to keep it coming back for next
Yeah.
week. But as far as like the overall episode, I do like it because we got to dive deeper into Loki as a person. You know, how his past still traumatizes him, how it still affects how he reacts and he does and what he does. You know, in this present time. So I liked it. I definitely think it gave me a little bit more action than the first couple of episodes that we did see. So
True.
I think that's kind of why I was more you know, pro this episode than I was the other ones because you asked the fellas before, like I was like, did we have anything to talk about
Right.
on this episode? Because like, what are we going to talk about on the live? Because it really nothing happened. But I think this one was a little bit more eventful. So jumping into the first question that I asked previously before I forgot to ask you guys that, what do you guys think Sylvie's all around plan is? Do you think it's similar to Loki's, or do you think she has different things in mind? AJ.
I'm coming from, you know, the standpoint of not reading the comics, so I don't really know what happens there. But as far as, you know, just watching the show and what I think might be the case is I think something happened to where the timekeepers messed with something that she cared about, something that she held dear, and, you know, she's going to, you know, right that wrong. So that's just kind of my theory so far, but I don't know.
Okay. What about you, Jay? What you think Sylvie's all around master plan is? Do you think it's different from Loki, or do you think she has a different motivation?
I think it's a different motivation because I mean, still, I don't know what the hell Loki wants to do because he's so unpredictable.
Yeah.
But I do think it's kind of similar. They both kind of like want to take down a TVA or do something with the time aspect. But with Sylvie, I think that obviously what's scary is that, you know, she can't use magic in the TVA.
Yeah.
And I mean, that seems like it's her first time there. So, I mean, I think that there's a source of power that she's sensing and she knows that it revolves around the TVA and she's trying to take them down.
Okay. What about you, Trey?
I think that Sylvie's trying to kill the timekeepers because I think I agree with AJ. You know, I think that they might have, you know, messed with something that she loved or, you know, something she really cared about, and she is not like, I feel like she kind of has the similar mindset to Loki. You know, like, who are these people directing the time flow? Like, why do they have any say of what's supposed to happen, what's not supposed to happen? So, and then something happened to her personal life, and now she's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill the timekeepers. This plan has been in motion for so long, and that's why I feel like she was trying to, how many people's guarding the timekeepers? How you get to the timekeepers? What's going on with that? I feel like that's
Yeah, I feel like I agree with y'all in that sense. I feel like she's not just doing this for no reason. She's a little, I don't want to say too motivated, but she really had, like, when she made it back to the TVA, she really was making a beeline for those gold elevators, you know, and I feel like with how intense she was, this is not just like, oh, I have a plan, to take over the TV. I feel like that wasn't like mad scientist, evil villain. I felt like it was a little personal, where whatever she's, you know, doing, it just, her whole mission, how angry she was at Loki when he, you know, blew it and stuff like that. I mean, of course they were about to die, you know, of course that's the reason to be mad. But I feel like there's a little underlying personal thing there, as to why, you know, she was kind of ready to, you know, pull up on the timekeepers. It's like that meme where it was like, damn, I wonder what so-and-so did to make them that mad. You know, it's like, that kind of makes me think, like, hey, what did you do to make them niggas that mad? So it's like, it's one of them things. It's one of them things. So, yeah.
I love that show, by the way, Boondocks.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to this next part, AJ. And I'm gonna ask you this question first. So with Lamentis 1, them, you know, getting or pretty much teleporting themselves to this planet with the template. And before we get to more stuff about the template in the next scene, but with this Lamentis 1, they arrive on this planet, and when they get there, it's like a meteor shower coming down. It's like, oh, okay, so where are we and why are we here? And there's all these, you know, meteors coming down. So they're running and all that, and they're just, you know, they're just at each other's necks this whole time because they're lost. Supposedly this template's broken, apparently, but I mean, we don't really know. But
Juice.
And also that she reveals that she goes by the name Sylvie. And they come up on that single family home. You remember that?
Yeah.
And then they get blasted. She gets blasted because she opens the door.
Yeah.
Loki just looks at her get blasted, and he's just kind of like,
right.
And then he tries to have that conversation with that woman, blah blah blah, about her husband and all that. So, after this scene, it's like, just get the hell out of my porch. Pretty much what you were saying, right?
Right.
And then they go into that other part, that other like small like shack, I guess, and they have that conversation, and supposedly the template's broken. Now, this gets a little tricky. So, and I want to ask you this question, AJ. So, do you think that the template was really broken, or do you think Loki's playing some kind of trick?
It's very possible that Loki is playing a trick because he's so unpredictable. you can't trust a thing that he says, and but it's kind of unpredictable. Like I said, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
What you got for me, Trey? What you got for me, Trey? What are you thinking over there?
I'm forming a theory right now. I'm forming a theory. So
okay.
I'm gonna go back to the lady in the trailer that blasted Sylvie. In the comic books, her name, I guess in the show too, because it says is Verity Willis. And I'll just give you a little background on her. In the comic books, as a child, she ate this ring that when you wear it, it gives you the abilities to see through all lies. And it apparently dissolved into her body, and now she can just see through all lies. And she just became like a shut-in. She don't really like people. She does like undercover work or whatever. And in the comics, that's kind of how she met Loki. She saw through his lies. She was like undercover at a dating site or something like that. But so since you brought up that question, is it really broken or not? I think that they're gonna go back to Verity later because she had just a very small little part in here, but I feel like they put her in there as a significant person. So I think the next episode they're gonna go back to her, and Loki and Sylvie are gonna get into it about like, you broke the temp pad, you were drunk or whatever, and then he's gonna be like, well, it's broken now or whatever, and then Verity's gonna be like, you're a liar, you're a freaking liar. I mean, right?
Yo, that'd be a bomb dropped.
Yeah,
for
real.
And
I mean,
it works the whole time.
Yeah. I don't know if I would like that though. I don't know if I would like that because it would make this past episode feel a little cheap to me because like we're doing all this for nothing. Like, come on now.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm 50-50 on what both you guys are talking about. Because I mean, I agree with Trey. I mean, that could be an interesting concept. I mean, it does kind of have to revolve around. Like, here's an example. They don't really show characters for that reason. They wouldn't have shown her if she wasn't important. So he might have to do something with that. But again, I mean, AJ, would I want to see that? Not really. It's because I think it's going to shift the focus off of what the show is really going to be about. But
maybe if we got like 10 episodes, 13 episodes, and we had a little bit more time with these characters, then backtrack a little bit. But like, let's keep moving forward.
I agree. Yeah, it's all about continuity, man.
Yeah,
it's true.
RJ, do you think that Loki's playing tricks, or do you think that the template's really broken?
I don't think Loki's playing tricks. I think Sylvie's playing tricks.
Now,
let me tell you why. Y'all gonna hate my theory. I think this whole episode is an illusion. When she went to go touch, Loki, and it didn't work, and they're on the moon planet or whatever. I think maybe they're somewhere. I don't know. I just have a theory that. And Loki said, it doesn't work for me because my mind is strong. So I feel like she's kind of trying to put him into this reality to lower his guard. So that way she can get the temp pad. I feel like this whole entire thing is a
that would be a very interesting way to
go. Far-fetched. But I think this is all an illusion. And if it is, kudos to me, After we had all egg in our face for WandaVision, you know, I would love to be right about something Marvel's doing on one of the shows, but it did cross my mind though, Jay, when he showed it was broken. So I don't know. I think somebody's playing tricks, but my theory is that Sylvie's the one playing tricks. I feel like when she made contact with him, I remember she had to break down how powers work. Physical touch, go inside the mind, create a reality. So she touched him, and I feel like they showed us that it didn't work, but I feel like that was part of her reality, is that it didn't work. So this whole time, he's thinking it's not working, but it's far-fetched. I may look stupid next week, but
no, I like that theory. I like that theory.
I like that.
Right. But blur it up. That would be a dope twist.
So I can't disagree with that, and I think you are getting onto something, because in my eyes too, I honestly think this whole show is an illusion. Besides the fact that he got there, he got to the TVA, but I think that at some point that we maybe not saw or seen, he was like hypnotized or something, or just went into some kind of like state where he is not, vulnerable to the real world, So I think something's an illusion. Yeah. So I don't disagree with that.
Something's going on for sure.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really good theory, RJ. I like that. I actually like that a lot.
Yeah. I do. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. But to move on a little bit, so what happens next is they find out about the Ark. Verity says, all these people going to the Ark, and they're like, oh, that's where we can get power to power a little template thing. And as they walk away, they're like, you're never going to get a ticket. And it's like, don't worry about that. We're God. It's fine. We'll figure it out. So
another
prime moment. But they get there, and Loki disguises himself as one of the guards. Sylvie, aka Enchantress, enchants a mofo into thinking that they could be on this train, and they get on. They're chilling. Immediately, we get into some real cool dialogue. Loki starts talking about the way he really felt about his mom, and what they think love is, and Sylvie kind of got into a little bit of her background. If it's real or not, yet to see. But then I think also a big moment. The people saying it's a big moment. Loki is confirmed as bisexual, which, congratulations to the LGBTQ plus community. Hop off Anthony now. So
for real. No, I agree, because it's just like, Marvel, what they're doing now is what we're noticing as the audience is they're representing people in different shows, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is about social injustice, about Black problems. WandaVision's more of like that, breakup, like, oh yeah, I've been through that too, kind of thing. And this one's about like, mental health and understanding how things can affect your future and past or whatever. So
that's deep. I don't think I really looked at it like that.
Yeah.
They don't have themes.
I'm a deep thinker, man. But yeah, no, I agree, Trey. I think that it's just kind of they're getting to that point where they're kind of going to break. They're showing the psychology aspect of it, of like breaking these characters down. Really, is what it is that they really want, and we still haven't figured that out. We kind of know who they are, but I feel like that there might be a glimpse of something that is like, oh snap, I didn't even know that about Sylvie or Loki or something like that. So.
Yeah. Honestly, really interesting the way that they are breaking characters, because when you do look back at it, you look back at Wanda, Wanda, and they're kind of going into her psyche. She was having like some real mental health issues. Her boyfriend died twice. She killed him one of the times, and she's kind of breaking down about it. You go into Falcon Winter Soldier, you seeing, their thought process, and how he's dealing with, trying to become, he's in the spotlight. Falcon's in the spotlight now, and Bucky is trying to deal with his past. And you look into this, and you're trying to like, why does Loki do what he does? And he's trying to come to terms with all of that. And I think it's honestly pretty interesting. But I do like this dialogue that we get between Sylvie and Loki. And Sylvie falls asleep. And she wakes up, and Loki's not in his disguise anymore, and he's just singing songs, not being covert at all. What are you doing?
That shit pissed me off, man.
What, with the singing or her falling asleep?
No, just him not being covert. Like, bro, you're on a doomed planet. Lay low.
Like,
just lay low.
He had a couple drinks,
He shouldn't even have the damn drinks.
Right. Like, he had a few drinks.
Lay low, man. Like, you trying to die?
She said you got drunk on a train.
She used some word to describe him. She called him, I had to look it up. She called him hedonistic, which I had to look that shit up because I ain't been in college in how long? I don't know what the hell that meant. So it was, I guess, when I looked it up, it said devoted to seeking pleasure, fun of what. And I was like, yo, he really is. You couldn't wait until after you finished this to go party? Bro, what are you doing? What are you doing?
She did.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say, I feel like he's very prideful, very into himself. He has an addiction to attention. So all those people around, he wanted all eyes on him, and he got a little carried away.
AJ, that goes to that mental health aspect, AJ, because it's like, think about it, Loki's this whole show has not got attention from anyone and throughout his whole life. And also think about this too. All the Marvel movies that you've seen, when someone's with Loki, the only person that has actually understood Loki and is not like thrown him away is Mobius. Because Mobius is actually the only one who's really trying to understand him, because he might be using him a little bit, like 25%. Yeah, but like 75%, he does have a soul in caring about like Loki, like what he does.
But man, they took that man down in TVA and played all of his L's on him for a big screen.
The L's that didn't happen for this Loki.
Exactly. They played that man L's he didn't even take yet.
Right.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Loki be taking so many L's. He's gonna take L's for the rest of his life. So,
but I feel like the L started like when he was a kid. It's almost like Dr. Doofenshmirtz on Phineas and Ferb, how he had like a terrible life from like childhood, and it just followed him. And I feel like it's the same thing for Loki. He had Loki as Doofenshmirtz, man. He's what Doofenshmirtz could have been. He could have been an truly evil genius. But like I feel for Loki, because like you said, Jay, all of this stuff and Trey, all this stuff that happened in his past leads up to how he is now, and it's affected him. And when we take a look at Sylvie, and the fact that maybe the difference between those two, aside from gender or sex rather, is the fact that Sylvie, who didn't know they were adopted? Sylvie didn't know. Yeah, Sylvie didn't know. So do you think that maybe that had an effect on how Sylvie turned out versus how Loki turned out? Because Loki knew he was adopted. Sylvie didn't. So do you think that
he didn't know until later?
Yeah, he didn't know until later. But how did she see? She didn't know.
Yeah, Sylvie said that she knew.
Wait, Sylvie knew.
Yeah, Sylvie knew.
Okay, yeah,
Sylvie knew.
Sylvie knew. So do you think that kind of affected them in different ways because she knew from the jump? Loki didn't find out until later.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
I think I think for sure. Yeah.
I have a question within your question. Do you think Sylvie is also a frost giant?
Yes, I do. I do think she's half frost giant. I do.
Okay.
I do. Because it's just there's not too much evidence at the moment, but yes, I do think there's a frost giant aspect because of how many timelines.
Oh shoot!
Oh my goodness, I love her. Anyway, I agree because I just think that if there's all these timelines, there has to be some other form of Loki because of how mischievous he has been, and obviously the fact that he's bisexual and he can like change into different people. Maybe some of his molecules when he was like a woman or something his spirit went off into another timeline, but he was still himself because the original Loki is supposedly a man. From the beginning of time. So, I mean, I know it sounds weird and it might be like, it's not really a theory. It's just that there's something that has to revolve around that has to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I like that. Okay.
I do think she's half frost giant, though.
I think because when they were even showing the different versions of Loki in alternate universes, some of them were even different species. So, she could be part of something else. Yeah. We don't know. But my whole thing is what I'm trying to figure out is because when you look at the levels of competency between Sylvie and Loki, I would want Sylvie to have my back in the fight over Loki, not as far as like the backstabbing is concerned, but I'm talking about the level of competency to be in battle, to fight, to use your powers effectively. I don't know if the way Sylvie was brought up and the fact that she knew she was adopted led to her being, a little bit stronger mentally or having more control over her power. But I don't know what the hell Loki got going on, but he's just not. And she even said like, yo, you're not, she said like, you're not a man or something like that. And he was like, I'm a god. But it's like, no, she said you're not a good man or something like that. She said to him. But that's kind of, it's just something like that. But that kind of made me, feel like, yo, like she really knows he ain't shit. You have one job, sit on the train and just ride that bitch out until you get to the arc. That's all you had to do. And you got yeeted off the train because you couldn't sit still. Like they straight yeeted that man out the window.
Yep.
Because you wanted to get drunk
on a moving train.
You know what that reminded me of? You ever seen like That's So Raven when they had like when Raven would dive on something and it'd be like the dummy and they would throw the dummy?
Yeah.
That's what the Loki reminded me of.
Or yeah.
Like it just you got yeeted off the train because you couldn't sit. All you had to do was drink your little champagne,
or like
ride,
or like Jazz on a Fresh Prince.
That's exactly it, though. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, just when you're reckless and you do stuff like that, and like it's not a time. I agree with RJ. It's not a time to be reckless. You're on another. You don't even know where the hell you're at. Yeah. You're on another planet, and like if I'm getting meteor showered on, I mean, am I not going to just walk? I'm going to run somewhere to safety. Like y'all, you don't even know where you're at. So that makes it more dangerous for both of y'all because you may think that you have all this power and I'm a mighty god, but you're not.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I think she said. You're not a serious man. I think that's what she said.
She might say something like that. I don't know.
Something like you're not a serious man. And he was like, I'm a god. But it's like, bro, like there's like you said, there's a time and place for everything. And we're trying to get off this planet, and you're bugging. Like you've been bugging from the beginning.
But one thing that bothers me too is like Loki. How many times is it going to take you to realize that you are taking L's over and over and over and over and over? Like you've not won one time. Like you won for like maybe like 10 seconds,
right?
Maybe in the first Thor movie, like in the first Thor movie when I was on the bridge, but that's about it. Mm-hmm. I mean, you saw your death, so that should humble you a little bit.
Yeah, I think it did too. I think it did humble him a little bit, but probably not to the point where he changes his whole characteristic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
I think you realized that because before, Loki, thought he was untouchable. And I feel like when he saw his death, he realized like, yo, I'm gonna get got. I can get got. So I think that was him kind of realizing that, you're not as untouchable as you think. Right. What I like about this episode too is that we kind of got a deeper glimpse into the TVA and its origins and the lies. I think we had spoke about this in the first two episodes on the live, and we had said something pertaining to. I don't think they're honest about or in the TV. I feel like they're a corporation at the end of the day that's full of lies. Yeah. And so when Sylvie and Loki were walking and she was talking about C20 and going to her memories and explaining how the powers work, she said that C20's mind was foggy and that there was hundreds of years of memories that are just there and stuff from before. And when he was like, before, no.
Say before what? The timekeepers?
What? Yeah, this is no.
Yeah,
they were creative. And I'm like, these morons believe that though. Like it didn't even sound right when they said it to me.
Brainwashed.
Yeah, they were brainwashed.
Yeah,
because they were like, when they say, "Oh yeah, they've always been here. We created them for this," and I'm like, "So you just snapped and you were 40 at a desk?" It just never added up to me. And so what gets me about it too is like, I don't know, it's so interesting to see. I'm interested to see how it unfolds once they learn the truth, because they're all variants, right? So that means, you mean to tell me that there have been that many? Oh, wait a minute. So remember in the beginning when they played that little video in the beginning with the TVA, and they showed the timelines branching off. So maybe so those are all the people from that timeline, the original, before they brought it into one master timeline. Maybe that's how they ended up with all those TVA agents.
I do like that theory.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
It's a cool theory.
Yeah, because I mean, we were talking about a few weeks ago too, and even last week, it's just about how this blip, this 5-year blip, kind of just, we don't even know what the hell happened. There's a lot of holes right now with time in general. This show is about time, and this is going to kind of go into your question, RJ. So I kind of want to talk about this last part of the episode, and it's because it's kind of important, and we might talk about this for a while, because we're going to have to talk about the movies and how this might eventually add up to this show. So the last part, when they went to that village, right? And, just people there, and there was another meteor shower, and the moon was breaking and all this crazy stuff, right? And so this is really interesting. So I was like, okay, Loki and everyone else, y'all are going to die. But then, this building comes falling down, and then Loki just looks up, with his mind.
Yeah.
And then, he just stops the building. I'm like,
okay, Matilda.
You got since when?
So I'm not alone, right? Yeah.
Right.
Like, what? I had to rewind it. I was like, wait, is something else? Is there something else? Somebody else in the business? Like, what?
Because I was looking for somebody else. I was like, hold on, did you just get your life saved by somebody? But anyway, so where I'm going with this is that, okay, so if we go back to episode 1, I believe, yes, episode 1, where Loki supposedly was looking in that drawer with all the 50 stones, and then he took the time stone. That was the only stone that he looked at, and people are saying, the theories and all that supposedly he took the time stone, but you hear the drawer close. Again, it's Loki. He still could have closed the drawer and just did something like that, a little sneaky, because it's Loki, or he could have made it disappear in his hand. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just interesting to see how this kind of plays into this episode, because with time, we know that only certain people can use that. So I want to ask AJ, do you think that this scene was Loki using the time stone, or do you think that it was some kind of power that we have not seen before from Loki? Bless you, Trey.
Bless you. We're live, folks.
Well, earlier in the stream, somebody mentioned that it might be an illusion. So now I'm thinking that maybe this whole episode might be an illusion. So that, I don't know, that might explain what happened there. But I don't know.
Because it was weird, man. It was out of place.
It was out of place. We've never seen Loki use these type of abilities. We didn't know that he had these type of abilities. So
it's sort of like when you're playing superheroes as a kid, and you got that one kid that keeps making up powers as you go along. You said you had flight before. Now you can't be telekinetic and have flight.
Can't be invisible and fly.
Exactly. Right?
Sit down, boy.
Playing. Yeah, get out here, man.
Yeah,
that's what it reminded me of.
You're trying to read my mind,
it's like, I shot you. No, you didn't, because I can phase. No, it's real. You didn't say that. We picked up powers before we started. Nah, that's not how that works. No. But that's what that reminded me of, because he literally was like, and then the thing flew back up. So it just, and I had to really sit and think, and I was like, yo, does he have that power? Because I don't ever remember him doing that.
Yeah.
But to touch on what you said, Jay, when he ended up looking at the top, the Infinity Stones, my first instinct was, you may not always be at the TVA. Pocket them things. So that's what I thought he would have done naturally. So I don't know. I just it was really out of character. But I think my first instinct would have been to pocket him.
It's low key, and I'm bringing this up because it's important to talk about just with this time stuff. Because again, does that mean that he has actually turned the events of Endgame into something else to sacrifice himself? Maybe. I mean, Ragnarok was supposed to happen and all that, yeah. But after that, was all this other stuff supposed to happen with like this blip and all that? Like, did Loki take this time stone after Avengers sometime and do something to going forward, messing up the events of maybe Endgame that wasn't supposed to happen? Yeah, he said this series, yeah. Yeah. It looks like a time reversal power too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. I mean, what do you think, Trey?
Okay. Go ahead.
I think, right when you said that, I thought, even if he didn't take it at that time, he's been in the TVA. He was doing the training videos, and people use the Infinity Stones as paperweights, so he could literally just walk past someone's desk and take one. So,
man, that's so disrespectful, bro.
I know.
It's very disrespectful to Black Widow.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. And everybody's like, nah, like we get it. The whole thing with the paperweights in the drawer, I've been going on rants about this because it's like people die for these, and like y'all just gonna like throw this away. But I get it. This is why I don't quite think that he slipped an Infinity Stone in his pocket or anything like that. It's because I feel like they showed that scene to show that the Infinity Stones are kind of a thing of the past. We about to move on to bigger and better things. We're about to move on to other things. Now that would kill the whole theory about how he did that with the building. I don't know how he did that, but like I think they're gonna try to keep the Infinity Stones there where that's at, and like kind of make a joke about like we're not gonna do anything with these Infinity Stones anymore. Kind of like Ralph Boner on with WandaVision. Yeah. Like we're not doing multiverse right now. Yeah, no.
Also, what I think that the showing the Infinity Stones did, I think that was to set up just how far removed the TVA is from our reality.
Yeah,
like the stones really don't mean nothing there because the stones probably came from them. Shit, we don't know time. Exactly. And I feel like that's kind of what that was to really set up the TVA as something that you can't just teleport to unless you have the right equipment. You can't get there by ship or nothing. Like it's literally its own dimension. I
you can't use your powers here.
Can't use your powers here. Exactly. So I think that was done to kind of just show that the TVA is maybe above the Infinity Stones because they had them all in one tray. They weren't sorted by color. They just
and they're just thrown in there.
Like we don't care. You can have all 5 or however many Infinity Stones together. It's not gonna mean shit here.
Make a necklace.
That's kind of what that was exactly. Or like Blurred Up said, put the shit in the candy to just put some Werther's originals because they're useless. Like, it doesn't matter.
I like Trey's theory from last week. I like how he was talking about, where is this TVA? Like, where the hell is this thing at? And I think that could be in some kind of quantum realm or somewhere secretive just because, it's just like certain things are being limited, like powers and all that. So it's like, it may not be the quantum realm limiting the powers, but something that they're using to construct to like decrease their powers or just like dismantle their powers, I feel like. And it's just like, well, damn, all right.
Yeah, I would like to see them dive into that and like the explanation of why you can't use your powers here and like where is this at and things like that. But I don't know if they're gonna get into that. Maybe it doesn't matter, but I'm just personally intrigued.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, AJ. I don't think it's gonna get to that point because again, it's just too confusing. It's gonna take the focus. Focus away from it. So
exactly.
I think that it's going to be some kind of other twist. Like it might be just the illusion that we all been talking about. Because I think there has to be some kind of illusion or something that is just not right in the moment. And the evidence is there. So
my whole thing is like maybe powers don't work in the TVA because I feel like maybe they are stuck in a time before time because we're asking you know, where is the TVA, when I feel like we should be asking when is the TVA as well, because we don't know. You know, it's not on our linear timeline. That thing is in a whole different, something that's probably above anybody's understanding in the MCU. So I feel like that we may be thinking a little bit too human, you know, as far as like, oh, where's the TVA at? Is it in the quantum realm? Oh, maybe it could be, but you know, but if that's the case, where does the quantum realm exist? You know, it's one of the things where it's like, I feel like this is just something that's way above anybody in the MCU's understanding. And I think like, where he said, why is TVA?
Why is the TVA? Right. Who is TVA?
How is TVA?
How?
Right. RJ, I think you bring up a great point, man, just because, you know, we don't know when this is happening either. Because, yeah, I mean, it happened after Avengers, but did it really happen after Avengers? Because they took him to another place, and this could be years from now. This could be far in the future. This could be in the past. Who knows where they're keeping them? So,
how much of a nightmare is it to be kidnapped and forced to work for like ever? And it's not even forever. It's just like a constant. You know,
hey, that's like the stormtroopers, man. Yeah, it's like the stormtroopers.
You don't have a choice.
Yeah,
it's like, stormtroopers, and then they have the worst thing. Like, because I work, you know, I've worked in hospital administration. That shit is terrible. I can only imagine a hospital kidnapping me and putting me at a desk, bro. I would lose my mind. And you can't quit. Like, that's the thing. I can put in my 2 weeks. You can't put in 2 weeks with this. Like,
but you're brainwashed though. You won't even know.
Very true.
That's a horror story right there.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
that's a Jordan Peele film.
God,
right. Exactly.
Marvel horror story.
Exactly. But yeah, I agree, man. It's just, you know, we just don't know. Again, we don't know anything about the show. That's why it's intriguing us, especially with this last part. Because, I mean, I don't think it's a time stone. The reason I just brought that up is because a lot of people, you know, we've seen this evidence with all this, you know, Infinity Stones. And again, RJ brings to the point where we still don't know where or when. Why is Gamora? Why is all this stuff? You know, and yeah, the case he didn't even know what fish were.
Wait, so what do they be eating? They don't have fish in the in TVA for lunch? Nope. Like, because he was eating salad, so do fish not exist there?
Guess not.
He looked like he eats salads all day.
Here's my theory. Maybe Casey is just stupid.
Maybe he's just an idiot. Maybe
I mean, you gotta be pretty dumb not to know what fish is. and they exist where you're at. I don't know, man.
Maybe it's just an oversight in the writing, because I was like, how do you not know what a fish is? And he's eating salad. They have juice.
Only hot dogs every day.
That's not healthy.
No, it really isn't. Maybe all they have in the TVA is salads.
That's a sad world.
I could do it.
I mean, you're brainwashed though, so
yeah.
I mean,
yeah, but I mean, you probably just, you know, brainwash the coffee and salad all day. That's probably what they do.
And you probably brainwash to think that that's, you know, it's good every day.
Yep. You might think it's a steak.
Actually,
you know.
So I know this may sound silly, actually, now that you brought this up. So the reason we were saying brainwash, I think, is because in the comics, these people that worked at the TVA, they were faceless. So they didn't really have any kind of like expression. So I think that that's kind of expression of being brainless, zombie-like, you know, robotic, because when they're seen faceless, Goku and Kid cuisines. Oh my goodness. Blurred Up is in the house tonight. But I mean, that's just my point. That's all I wanted to say about that, is that I think it's just, there's that robotic aspect that they're trying to show with these people that are like, oh yeah, it's just like, you know, I'm going to work, honey, and all that, you know. So that's what I gotta say.
I think. Oh, go ahead, Trey. Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead. I got something else.
No, my brain is fried. I forgot what I was gonna say just that quick. So you're good. You're good, man.
I was gonna say, you know, what I wanted to touch on real quick was what I didn't like in this episode, which could kind of bring forth the more of the idea that this whole episode was an illusion. When they're running to the Ark and they're doing that whole fight scene, and Loki does his thing with the building, I didn't like it because to me it just felt like they were running through a studio, and like it just kind of felt like they're running on a green screen and doing all this stuff. And then if it does happen to be this episode is all an illusion, it could kind of make sense because she's just trying to make him perceive that they're actually running through all these obstacles when really they're really not. So
I like that. Yeah. I like that because when I was watching it, it did seem kind of like run over here. Oh no, run over here. Oh no. It did seem kind of like I don't know if they spent their entire budget on WandaVision.
Yeah,
that
might have been it. That might have been it
for the graphics, but I was like, "Yo, this is low key kind of PS3 like." It's very PS3.
Not PS3.
Almost Nintendo 64, but like.
I think Trey brings a good point though, because like if you think about it, this seemed. I mean, I agree with you, RJ. This seems scripted, like but I think that Sylvie might be, playing that mind trick on him, saying like, "Oh yeah, this is all happening," and like just for some reason, whatever reason she's doing it. So I think it could be something like that.
Yeah, Jay also joined. He said the same thing. Loki's been enchanted without him knowing. I truly believe that, and that goes to what you said, Trey. I think that maybe she was trying to make him feel like he was in danger, and that now that the Ark has been destroyed, that all hope is lost. So I think I definitely see that. Brogy says that we talk about Loki constantly getting his ass kicked by random humans. Yeah, Loki cannot fight, bro. Yeah. Loki has like no hands.
Sylvie is better than him.
Yeah,
with fighting.
Sylvie was like Xena Warrior Princess, and Loki was just like taking another L.
Yeah.
But the big screen.
He threw the dagger. He missed.
The dramatic build up for that for him to miss,
bro.
But I ain't gonna lie though, Loki was kicking some butt in the first Avengers now. So I don't know what transition happened from him just kicking everybody's butt because he was fighting Captain America.
He was being brain controlled. His mind was being controlled by Thanos though, wasn't it?
Not in the first Avengers.
No,
he was just his own person. Yeah, he was just like, I'm here, so get out of my way. Okay. But I mean, I see why you say that. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of probably like some kind of brain control to some extent, but
he need to re-download the moves or something. He does not win fights. And I feel like even when we're fighting side by side, it was like Sylvie was carrying him. Even when they were, kind of running to a certain extent, she was kind of protecting him and making sure, so we know who's a superior Loki in this shit. It's very not. Yes. Not our Loki. It's definitely nice. It's not Doofenshmirtz.
Yeah. Yeah. He usually like fights with his mind and like psychologically and stuff like that, even though he be taking L's, but that's where his expertise is.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, AJ, he takes so many L's and he's still not realizing if I take that many L's and be like, okay, maybe I need to just like figure out a different strategy.
Yep. Take a step back and reevaluate, what's going on.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, man. It's just, I mean, Sylvie does have hands. I will say that she's definitely a fighter, but low-key just seems like he went from kicking butt. Go ahead, RJ.
Ooh, Timo Takara has a good point. So when you sleep, right, and you dreaming and you fighting and you swinging like this in your dreams, you can't fight in your dreams. You suck. Maybe that's why Loki was getting his ass beat because he dreaming and he can't fight.
I like that though. That could be something though. That could be a good theory.
That could be it. Loki don't got no hands. You can't swim. You can't fight. You can't do. When I be running from zombies in my dream, it'd be the most awkward run, and I almost die every time because you're not coordinated. So it could be one of them things. You never know.
But if we could think back, like in the past films that he's been in, like where has he really shown like fighting choreography? Like we think back at Thor: The Dark World. We think back at Ragnarok. I mean, nothing too impressive.
Yeah, you're right. So
So
maybe it's one of them things where it's like, you know how somebody always be talking like they could fight, and then you never seen them fight.
All bark, no bite.
Yeah, like this one girl in middle school who was telling all these girls how to fight, and then she actually got into a fight and got beat up. It was really funny, actually. She was having people come up to her table and give her fighting advice and then she lost both fights she was in. So, but she was apparently this amazing fighter, but we didn't see that shit when she was on the ground. But it's like that. It's sort of like that, you know.
She was a fraud.
She was a fraud.
You ain't a gangster, you a fraud.
Exactly. So maybe Loki's a fraud. Maybe he's all talk because he did say, "I'm going to be a ruler. I'm going to be king of Asgard, and you're going to bow to me." All just like Dr. Doofenshmirtz, all
That's
talk, can't follow through.
Yeah.
You know what? I was kind of thinking when we were talking about him fighting. Loki kind of fights like ninjas in Naruto. Like they use a lot of substitutions, little illusions.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
I knew you were gonna say something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're like the same.
Yeah, but Loki doesn't. He's not using them effectively. Like he's just,
he's
always losing.
He lost his ninja. He's not.
He's not.
He. I mean, you know, he needs to spend more time around Thor. You know, he's not as mighty as him, but again, he has that frost giant. You said what?
He needs to get training in the gym. He needs to
do something. Blurred Up says, were we hoping to see Ravonna? Yes, I was. She got one swing in and then they disappeared. I was hoping that they was going to really get down, but they one scene and she was done. So
I'm ready to see her on the in the next few episodes do something. Because I mean, in the trailer you can see her like kicking some butt. So she'll be back for another part. I mean, I know she's trying to. That's just that one part because they had to move along the story. But I think when they do meet up again, I think Renslayer is going to be ready. So.
I like how kind of cold she was, you know, when she was like, take another step and I'll kill him. She was like, go for it. Like, hey, yo, she's cold, man. She's cold. I'm gonna like her.
I think we all already like her. And actually, since we're talking about this, so last thing real quick, you said, Sam Wilson's fighting.
Sam can't fucking fight.
I think Sam can fight a little bit better than Loki. But I mean,
I think Sam could beat Loki hand to hand. Even with Loki magic, I feel like Sam could beat Loki definitely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but it would take like 20 hours. But I mean, yeah.
Brody says Sam is Ali compared to
Dang.
Y'all are dragging Loki.
Brains over Braun. Yeah.
True. Facts.
So this last thing is going to be interesting. I actually wanted to bring up before we get out of here. So Trey, RJ, AJ, this might be kind of interesting to your perspective. So, in my opinion, I think that why the TVA is so secretive is because that Renslayer, she's the judge. You know, judges have a high, authority to a certain aspect of when it comes to a cosmic time traveling and blah, 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 blah in the universe. So we kind of
there's an inside joke we have AJ about on this show about like Sam and his random ass flips that he be doing, and it's like when in doubt, do a flip, or if you're about to die, do a flip. So, so Sam wins by flip.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see that. Y'all crazy.
And maybe that's why he's getting so beat up.
Because he don't know how to flip. He should have flipped off that damn train is what he should have did while he was out.
You know what? Now I think about it, I have never seen Loki do a flip.
And he always loses. You see?
Bad guys don't do flips.
That's why they always lose. Maybe they should start flipping.
Now I'll say this, Trey. Our chat, man. Yeah, I'm glad our chat's here, man, to back us up.
Y'all funny.
Now I'll say this though, Trey. Now, what's intimidating though, if you ever see a villain walk with their hands behind their back, you probably should be worried.
Yeah.
So so anybody like
Right.
Darkseid or Thanos probably should be worried about that.
Yep.
What up?
To continue with what I was going to say, so this last thing I want to talk about with Renslayer, Judge Renslayer. She's kind of this character that we still don't know about, obviously, and I think there's a little bit more depth when it comes to her because I think that she's intimidated by somebody. And I think that somebody is Kang the Conqueror, and I'm saying that because. If you notice, when she was behind the podium and the three heads were there, and obviously it's not Apocalypse, it's not Mephisto, it's Kang. It has to be Kang. So Kang I think that you said what, Trey?
That Kang and whoever the two other timekeepers are.
Exactly. Because I think whoever the other two timekeepers are, I mean, it could be Eternity, Infinity, or some, or whoever, whatever. We don't know yet. But I think that Kang's in the middle. Whoever's in the middle is the most powerful. So I think that Kang controls these other two beings, but they're all like one. But I think he's the most powerful because he has the most power and he contains that. And I think that, Renslayer has the love relationship with Kang. And I think that she's intimidated by him because of what he can do. But I want your guys' thoughts on that. AJ, what do you got to say? Because I see you thinking over there.
I don't know much about Kang the Conqueror, to be honest with you. I've heard his name get thrown around. I know he's big in the comics, but I'm excited to see what they have in store for that character and, what he brings to the show and maybe what he brings to the MCU as a whole. But I can't give you a straight answer on that.
Okay. No, I respect that. Because all you need to know with Kang right now, he's a time-traveling warlord.
Okay.
And he just he can't fight. He's not a fighter. He can throw a punch. There's a team throwing a punch and fighting now. We all know that. But that's all he is. He just controls all times aspect, but he's dangerous because of how smart and the technology that he possesses.
Okay.
But RJ, what do you think about this with Kang and Renslayer? What do you think?
I think you're on mute.
Oh, yeah, you're on mute. Yeah.
God, I'm too young to not know that I was on mute. But like a damn uncle. So what was I saying? I lost my damn train of thought. I was reading AK's comment, and he was saying that's Kang in the middle. We won't see him on the show, but it will be implied. So I think that maybe I don't know if they'll reveal Kang in this series. I feel like maybe he'll come into play later. We'll know he is the big bad, and I feel like we'll work towards finding him and stuff like that. I do feel like the timekeepers are. I don't think they're living among the TVA agents. I don't think they are TVA agents. I feel like they are more divine than that. I doubt that the timekeepers would hide in plain sight. Which then again, there have been shows and movies and television, where gods are in plain sight, hiding amongst mortals and things like that. I just don't I think the timekeepers are too invested in the sacred timeline, and they're too invested in this variant thing to kind of be on the floor, on the ground with it. So I think as far as like Kang is concerned, I feel like we may not see him at all. Or if we do see him, it'll be like the last episode, the last couple of minutes, and then, that'll be it. And then, it'll translate into the movie. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think Kang's. I don't expect any cameos from anybody in any TV show right now because Marvel has shown that. And if they do a cameo, it's going to be somebody that we've already seen before. It's not going to be like, Wolverine's going to pop out and be like, oh, yeah, I'm ready to go. Like, it's not going to be like that.
And Loki.
But, Kang as Remy was saying, he has a very, very detailed.
You're talking about you have 4 hours.
He's not lying. He's not lying, though, because
that is funny.
Because it's true. If you have that much time, it's just that's how much depth there is to Kang. But yeah, in my opinion, I don't think Kang's going to show up at all. And if he does, it's not going to be in this season. It'll be in the next other seasons, maybe whenever Loki ends or something. But I thought it was interesting to bring up because it seems like there's a higher power. You know what I'm saying? and there's always a higher power to a judge. So it's What do you think? What do you think, Trey? What you got for me?
Man, I agree. I don't think we're gonna see Kang in this series at least. Maybe we'll get like a glimpse of his like shoe or something, but nothing crazy like shoe.
Or maybe the Voldemort does like Harry Potter, and he'll be like in the back of somebody's head for like a quick second. Okay, aka Alicia Kingston. Okay,
yeah,
Kingston update. Okay,
yeah, definitely, yeah. But I mean, yeah. Go ahead, Trey.
I do think that they're gearing more towards him because what is more powerful than Thanos at this point in the MCU, and I feel like Kang is the next, like the best thing. He's one of the people who controls like the sacred timeline, and he like sends people to make sure that all these things happen the way they're supposed to happen. And I feel like the timekeepers don't really even care about Thanos himself, so like they could probably body him with their
they ain't give a damn about the Infinity Stones. Yeah, I doubt they don't care about no damn Thanos.
So I feel like the strongest thing at this time in the MCU.
I think he's the next big bad.
Yeah, I do. Alicia she said, I think the actual timekeepers may be dead, murdered by Kang many moons ago.
I agree with that.
That could be it, because Loki are trying to get at him. Maybe somebody beat, the Lokis to the timekeepers, and maybe Kang is running things, and maybe that's why, they're brainwashed, and like I said, there's a lot of deceit and dishonesty going on around. And no one can see the timekeepers. No one can get an audience with them. They may be dead. It's sort of like the Wizard of Oz theory, where let me see the wizard. Oh no, go do some possible shit. Then you can see the wizard. So, and maybe one of the things where it's like, their god is dead, and the timekeepers, their gods are dead, and so they may be hiding them from people. That's a good theory.
I think it's a great theory, and I think that right now, where our focus needs to be on besides this TV show, I think that what people need to do right now to get more information is that I think people need to go back and watch certain movies. I think people need to go back and watch the first 4 movies. And Miss Mintz is Mephisto.
He's in there.
Whoa, that is the best one. Okay.
It's
his Mephisto.
That's funny though.
I like it. Good
Who knows? She could be the devil.
Mephisto. You should have seen us, AJ, when we were covering WandaVision. Oh my god!
Hey, that was everybody.
Stupid.
That was everybody, bro. Everybody. Mephisto. The dog was Mephisto.
Yeah,
like,
fly on the walls, Mephisto.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so that's how I run it.
That was everybody.
Yeah.
But
that's funny.
Yeah, or did they 86 that?
He's set for Ant-Man. So I mean, this could be his introduction, and I feel this is why I feel like the shows are important to the MCU, and this is why I feel like Disney's making these canon. That like they didn't treat Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and they didn't treat them the way they're treating these shows. So we know these are all canon to what's going on to the MCU right now. So I feel like, yes, this could be his introduction to the MCU, setting him up to be the new big bad.
Yeah, and as much as I like those shows, I still think that the difference between the MCU and the like Netflix shows, that the older shows, man, they kind of move slow. They're kind of like all of them, like, I mean, they're still all like good. There's good things about them. I think that they just generally just move slow.
For sure. Yeah.
But
I agree.
Yeah, I know you, AJ. I know you're like, I mean,
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked them. Don't get me wrong. I liked them, but it was a lot more slow paced than what we were getting on the Disney Plus exclusives.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because it was a very, very like long, drug out, storyline. They wanted to last the whole season.
Yeah.
But I feel like Loki has to not only build on, Loki's character, then it has to tie into the MCU. So there's so much more that has to go into Loki than that had to go into, the Netflix original shows, because like I said, nothing was canon. It was all stories that were loosely based off of the MCU. And yeah, so definitely, I'm enjoying the Disney Plus shows. I definitely think that we are in for a wild ride. WandaVision started slow too, but as they got further and further towards the end, it got crazy. Same thing with Falcon and Winter Soldier. But before we get out of here, you guys have any more predictions, theories, or what do you think, or how do you think they're going to get off the planet if this isn't a dream? Or do you have anything you guys want to say what you think is going to happen in the next episode? We'll start with Jay.
Yeah, I don't really have too much to say. I think we pretty much covered most of it. I think the only thing I can say is what happens in the next episode is that I hope that somebody reveals who the hell they are. Like, who is who? Like, who? Yeah. Are you even Loki? Like, are you a scroll? Like, what's going on?
Secret invasion.
It better not be a scroll. It better not be a scroll.
I'd be highly disappointed.
It'd be Far From Home all over again.
Yeah, I'd be highly disappointed. But that's my opinion. That's all I got to say.
Okay, Trey.
I think next episode they're gonna go back to Verity's house, and there's gonna be some dialogue with her, and she's gonna see through some deceptions, and maybe she'll talk to Enchantress. She'll be like, "You're not even a Loki. Like, why are you saying you're a Loki? You Sylvie, or something like that. I don't know, but I think we're definitely gonna go back to Verity's house, Verity's trailer.
Or maybe she'll tell Loki that, hey, this shit ain't real.
Yeah,
you never know.
Hey,
yeah,
I agree.
AJ, what you think is going to happen next episode?
I'm not really sure, but what something that I've been thinking about, like, since it is kind of like a time travel type show, I was thinking maybe like let's do some Rick and Morty type things with some just misadventures with Loki and Sylvie, and them trying to get off planets and them trying to do this and that while also exploring the vision and the storyline that is intended for the show. But just like, let's do some misadventures a little. Let's have some fun with this.
So you want some low-key shenanigans?
Yeah, definitely. I would love that. I would love some low-key shenanigans. Not taking itself so serious either. But I don't know.
I agree with you, AJ. I think that you have to show just that elemental part of exploring the universe. That you have to go to different parts of the timeline and say hey, just just be funny, do some Family Guy, Universal, multiverse stuff. Just it doesn't have to be that serious, but
exactly.
I feel like there's y'all know my hang up with Marvel and their terribly placed humor. The humor's good, but sometimes it's put in the wrong situations. Like we literally about to die while y'all joking, stuff like that. But I feel like a shenanigans episode where they're not in imminent danger and they're just, having a good time, playing pranks on people, doing shenanigans stuff. I definitely could see that happening. I wish we had more episodes so we could get a filler episode. And to answer Jay's question, I don't think that I think these shows are necessary because when we get to the movie portion of it, you have to know how Monica Rambeau came into play, from WandaVision. You have to know that, after WandaVision went off the air, she got called up to the spaceship in the sky, or whatever, to talk to Nick Fury and things like that. You have to know how Sam Wilson, he didn't just get the shield and then keep it after Endgame. He went through a period of time where he did not want the shield, and he learned to, appreciate the shield for what it was, and, appreciate the legacy that Captain America, Steve Rogers, decided to pass down to him. So I do think that the shows are necessary to watch. I think that for the casual Marvel fan, no, it's not going to be. You can go to the movie and just okay, cool, it is what it is. This is how you can just accept the reality. You can suspend your disbelief, accept the reality. But I feel like for people that enjoy the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and appreciate the continuity that Marvel is so good at and that they work so hard to keep up, I feel like, yes, you do need to watch the show. But back to answer my question, what I think is going to happen in the next episode is I feel like if it is an illusion, I feel as though she's going to, get what she wants, and Loki will snap out of it, and then he'll proceed to chase her, to try to get that back so that way he can go off with his plan to overthrow the TVA himself. But if it's not, I don't know how the hell they're going to get off that planet, because they literally said it's doomed. There's nothing that they can do. It's going to collide. So I wouldn't know how to even think about I wouldn't even begin to think about how we get off of that. But before we get out of here, excuse me, Jay, where can we find you at, man?
Find me at Hero Harrison Talk on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and my YouTube channel is still in the works. So I got some more podcasts coming out pretty soon, Marvel and DC. And yeah, busy.
Trey, man, what you got going on? Where can we find you at?
All right, y'all know the vibes. You can get me on TikTok and Twitch at Spiderboy Trey, and that's boy with 2 eyes instead of Y, because I had to be different. You can get me on Instagram.
Straight up.
Hey, there you go, at maximum_spider. And then check out my t-shirt shop, y'all. TriggerTrayTees.com. Got some designs on there. I'm working on some more, uploading them all the time. So check it out.
I'm waiting on my designs so I can buy it. You owe me a design.
Called out on the live television.
I own live television.
But check out the links down below for Trey's shop. Everybody's stuff be down below. AJ, what's going on, man? How can we keep up with you, and what do you have going on, bro?
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you for having me on the show. It was a blast. It was a lot of fun talking Loki with you fellas. And yeah, so I'm AJ of AJReacts2, all one word. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Letterboxd, and I talk movies, TV, video games, snacks, anything you could think of entertainment-wise. I talk it. And yeah, so check me out.
What was that thing you said, the video games? Snacks?
Snacks. Snacks, man. I've been eyeballing these Lays, man. It's like mango Lays or something like that. I've been eyeballing them. So maybe I'll do like
I've never heard of those.
Yeah, maybe I'll do like a reaction video or something.
Okay, stop it. You're making me hungry. All
Some
right,
jerk chicken Lays, chips. Yeah.
This man really be doing everything. Like,
I really do.
He really be doing everything. And check out, seriously though, guys, check out his content. His description, his links are down below in the description. He does have really good content, and I am.
Thank you.
Just because I only recommend things that I like. So definitely check out his content. Great content creator, very personable, very funny, great content. So go ahead and click his link down below and hit subscribe. As Desiree said, there are 10 people in this damn live, so there better be 10 likes on this video. So, nah, but for real, can you please like it? No, it will help us out a lot.
AJ just hit 1,000 followers too on YouTube, so congratulations, my man.
Congratulations on that, man. Proud of you. Proud of you. Work hard, you deserve it, man.
It's big.
Yeah. So with that being said, thank you guys for so much for joining us tonight. We will be back next week at 9 p.m. 9:15. You know we don't never start on time here at FTB. So make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe, share this video with your friends. Come back next week, and we will be discussing episode 4 of Loki. With that being said, have a great evening, and remember, blur is bond.
Blur is bond.
Blur is bond.
We out.
We are out.